The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond, got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality, who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be, who I am is fine with me.
Hey, here we go. Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? First of all, I'm a little froggy tonight. I hope you don't mind. I had a little bit of I was in and out. It was crazy weather this week. It was 70 one day, and it went to 30 degrees the very next day. So I was working inside and outside, and I lost my voice a little bit, but I'm still here. So first of all, I want to explain to you what I do here. We're Facebook Living as we're doing the show, so a lot of our wonderful friends will come on and check in, and I want to say hi to them. So our first, Chris DePiero has joined in. Peter John Ripley has joined us. Hi, Peter. Hi, Chris. John, Jason Peck, Kian Martinez, Stephen Elbell, and Barbara Portis. Karen Mead has joined us. All these wonderful people have come on right away. Thank you so much. Kyle de Blasio has joined us. So you're going to hear me doing this a lot. For our radio listeners, I'm not losing my mind. That happened years ago. So I'm just acknowledging people, right? So Paul Lucas has joined us, and we want to thank you folks for coming on. Now, I just want to tell you, one of our guests that was supposed to be on, Jessica Schaefer, who's a sweetheart, an amazing singer and musician, she had a dental emergency happen today and ended up at the dentist, and we figured today was not the best day to be on the radio with a swollen mouth and Novocaine. So we're going to reschedule Jessica. She is going to, I know, well, these things happen. She's going to maybe call in if she can. She's on pain meds, I think. I don't know. Anything could happen. She's going to call in and say hi about 9:30ish. Jay Rivera has checked in. Stephen Elbell says, Jeffrey and Stephen say hi. Hi, guys. How are you? They came by to see me this week. Okay, so, hi, Rory Taggart in from Canada. My friends that are here tonight are Walker Vreeland, and joining us last minute, but he was going to come and enjoy our delicious food anyway, and we have invited him to join us, is Evan. How do you say your last name, Evan?
Sollars.
Sollars. Evan Sollars is here. So Judy Jerome has joined us. She's been on the show. Okay, so Evan is a colorist, and I know this is of great interest to a lot of our listeners because we have a huge amount of people out there that are in the hair business. So we have trichologists, we have cutters, we have all kinds of people, and now we have what Evan specializes in is color. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about that. We're excited about that. Tom Grounds has joined us. Rachel Pierce has joined us. Okay, now let me just tell you, I had a little bit of a crazy week because my promo was about my bathroom. There was a pipe that burst in my bathroom. These are New York stories, folks. So the poor guy downstairs from me, I was taking a shower, and apparently he was taking a shower at the same time without meaning to. So they came up, they had to shut off my water, and I didn't have a bathroom for a week. They gave me keys to another apartment where nobody supposedly lives there. But I was like a little spooked out to go in there to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. So I was at Judy's a lot this week, and thank you, Judy Mesa, for all that hospitality. And oh my God, it was crazy. Finally, yesterday, they finished it, and today I was able to put everything back on the walls. So I had a crazy day, but I think the apartment looks okay.
No, it looks great.
Great. All right,
and the bathroom is
back to normal,
back
right?
in order.
I got a new pipe that goes into my toilet. Can you believe this? And my tub. Brand new. I mean, this is exciting. Ed Kutu, he's in the hair business. Eddie, we got a colorist on tonight. Wow. Kenneth Gardner has joined us. Yay. All right, so Yvette Bloom. Hi, Yvette. Here's what I want to tell you, folks. Please feel free to share this video right now or anytime during the show. Feel free to just go ahead and share it because then it gets on your pages and people can see it and you can enjoy it from your own page. So let's start with you, Walker. We have known each other for, I'm just going to say 10 years at least.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
And we met downtown. We had mutual friends. You're a singer. I'm a singer. And then I found out that you were also doing a radio show out in Long Island.
That's right.
Right. So tell us about that, because that was a whole other part of you that I didn't know.
Right. Because we met in the cabaret world because I spent a lot of time at Rose's Turn downtown. So I knew you, and like you said, we had a lot of mutual friends. Yeah, exactly. And then I left the business and went into broadcasting. And left New York for a while and moved to Long Island, where I hosted my own radio show.
And it was a great show.
10 years, and I promoted a lot of her beautiful songs.
You were always so supportive. Thank you so much.
You got your Kindness Makes Me Cry, got a lot of airtime on WBAZ in the Hamptons. So anyway, yeah.
And now, did you have to broadcast from the Hamptons? Did you live out there?
I did.
How did you like that?
It was a big change.
I was going to say, I remember that. You were in the city.
Yeah.
Hi, Penny James has joined us. She is in the hair business as well. Penny, I have a colorist on tonight, our friend Evan Sollars, and he joined us at the last minute. He was so good about it. So Penny is my friend. She's been on the show. She's a hairdresser, but also a trichologist. So that is...
Wow.
hair loss and dealing with that. And
sure.
She's amazing.
Wow.
Irina has joined us. She is a makeup artist. Hi, Irina. So Walker was telling us about being out in the Hamptons and broadcasting from there. That you moved out there.
I moved out there. It was it was a huge transition because I had been, I'm born in New York. Wasn't I grew up all over the place in Baltimore and Boston and a little bit.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Yes. But also...
Where'd you live in Boston?
I lived in Natick. So
Natick
not
is
in
nice.
Boston,
yeah,
but
it's
like,
nice.
40 minutes outside
My
of
sister
Boston.
has a hair salon out in West Concord.
Okay.
So that's out
really
that way.
close.
European
Definitely.
flair in West Concord.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So, but I'm a New Yorker, and I went to NYU, so I lived in New York for a long time, and then I left, and it was nice. It was nice to get away. I think I needed it at the time to get away for a lot of reasons, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But it was really, the job was what kept me there. If it hadn't been for the job, if it hadn't been for the opportunity to have my own show and develop it and find my voice, really, I think it would have been harder. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was tough. Because living in the Hamptons is not real.
Well, especially off season. Right?
Well, it can be really, really quiet.
I want Maria Colati has joined us. She is from he was just talking about Natick, Maria Colati.
Oh my God.
She is hair. She's a wardrobe person. She is amazing. She does many things. She's in New York, but she's from Boston. Joe Savino has joined us, the most handsome man in the world. He's in radio. He's big in radio.
Oh, fantastic.
Joe Rocks Night Talk. Joe Rocks Night Talk Thursday nights at 1 a.m. They talk about dirty things sometimes on that show. So kids, turn your ears off. But if you're an adult, you want to listen to Joe's show. Joe Rocks. Kathy Gubiner has joined us. She has a show. Hey, Kathy. The Kathy and Mike show. Kathy, type in the exact name of your show so I can tell people about it. Kathy's great. She has a show on Armed Digital Media, Armed Radio, which is what they give us the opportunity to do what we're doing here. So thank you, Joe Rocks. Thank you for the opportunity. And you were out in Long Island. Mm-hmm. You were living there. Was it the kind of thing?
Trying not to go out of my mind.
Because it's off season. It's kind of quiet out there, right?
Yeah. I think you know that you're a New Yorker when you leave New York and then the first thing you start scheming on how you're going to get back. So right away, almost right away, within a year, I was like, oh, this is great, but this is not, I have to get back to New York. And I ended up staying for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, so it was it was an amazing experience because I learned so much about myself and had, had this incredible opportunity that I wouldn't have otherwise had.
Like, you were like one of the first people that I used to love you. I mean, I did love your show. I still do.
Oh.
When I think about it. But and you had such interesting people on, like when you had that medium, that spiritual.
Wow, you were listening
to that? Of course.
Wow,
I love your show.
Wow.
And I just remember thinking, like, wow, look at what Walker's doing. Like, I really still do admire you in the way that you frame things. Also, your voice you have a beautiful voice. And
thank you. It was a very unique experience because I was on it. It was a radio. It was of course it was a radio show. It was a music radio show. So it was an adult contemporary station. So it wasn't a talk station. It wasn't a talk
but
format.
You used to feature people.
Yeah.
Right? I want to acknowledge Jim Bell. He says we're doing great. Jim Bell is our producer and engineer tonight. Let's have a big hand for Jim Bell.
Thank you,
Jim Bell. I love Jimmy. I love him. All right, Kathy. Your son lived in Astoria. Kathy's son is your son that's in the military, Kathy? I think so. Kathy's son is in the military, so we salute you, sir.
Yes.
He is so handsome.
Thank you for your service.
We do. Thank you for your service. We want to send that out because we have a lot of armed forces people that listen to us, and we love you and appreciate you very much. Ryan Bristol joined us from Colorado. Okay, so Walker, now for your show, would you get to create the program, or did they tell you?
Well, yes and no. So the music these days, unlike radio was when it began, it's all automated, and everything is programmed in advance, so all the music is sort of lined up before your show. You know exactly what's going to play. In terms of what the content was, I was given a lot of freedom. I really was. It was a big gift because they sort of let me from day one just go on and do me,
right, and
create the kind of programming that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And talk to psychics and talk about astrology and also interview artists. I mean, that really was my passion.
I know.
Having come from the theater, having come from the cabaret world, and having been an actor, of course, that was my passion was talking to artists.
Yep, and
on the radio.
I loved your show.
That's what it led to.
I want to say something. First of all, you know what you said, that they gave you the freedom to do that. That is really trusting someone. That's an amazing thing. And I want to thank Night Talk with Joe Rocks, 60 minutes of commercial-free nonsense and background noise. And you take showers, Joe. You see what I mean? I knew this was going to go south quickly. He takes showers.
I guess when it's that dirty, you need to constantly sort of
clean
it.
That's Facebook Live too.
Right. Is it Facebook Live? That's a good question. Joe, Night Talk with Joe Rocks, that's Facebook, but the showers, that's what we're most concerned with.
We want to know if the showers are Facebook Live.
Because there's a whole audience for that, trust me.
You could.
So please, Joe, let us know.
Syndicate that.
Or you should play some sexy music while you're showering, Joe. He always has this sexy, kind of sax music in the background.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah,
really
sax and showers, right? And he's always got some girl, hot girl with an accent, saying Night Talk with Joe. It's all that. And then add the shower, Joe. Add the shower. Maybe the water can hit the screen.
I love it.
I'm telling you, some steam come up. So anyway, yes, it's so nice to have someone say, see, he thinks it's a good idea. Well, we're all about ideas here. So it's nice that someone trusts you and says, okay, what do you got? Let me hear what you got. But if you weren't doing the right thing, I'm sure they would have come in very quickly and said, nah.
Well, they came in a few times.
Did they?
No, I mean, they were amazing. They gave me so much freedom, and only because I think, I had a background in the theater and as an actor, so I had no radio experience. And when you start in radio, I was so bad. It takes you.
What do you mean you were so bad?
When I now listen back to tapes of my first year on the air, it's so, Maria.
Really?
It's so hard because you haven't. I think it's different for you because you jumped right into this medium, and it's so easy for you to just...
Well, thanks to Joe Rocks. Joe Rocks threw me into the medium, didn't he? He said, get out of the shower and get on the radio.
Here's a towel.
Here's a towel.
We're going live in 5 minutes.
Snap out of it.
So, anyway, what was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought.
You were saying that there was sometimes the first year where you listen back.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I think for a lot of people, this is definitely true for me. It takes time to find your voice in that way. I think I had not found my voice, period. And so
you're a quiet person, I think.
Really, you think?
I mean, I don't mean that you don't project, but I mean, you are someone that is very dignified.
That's so
and noble and takes
Isn't it interesting to hear other people's perceptions of you? Because you don't think of that.
I would
the way
put
you think
in
about yourself.
Wouldn't you put
I said the same thing.
You
to
did
when I first met you.
What'd you say, Evan?
And you said that you were surprised, and now you're.
You are very. I would put you in a sweet, grounded, dignified, honorable category. Would you not, Evan?
Yes.
That's so nice.
Well, I'm not being nice.
No. I mean,
I'm telling the truth.
Well, it's interesting because I think it wasn't always that way. I think I settled down a lot.
Well, we all do. I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah. It took me some time to find this, I guess, this groundedness that you're talking about.
Yeah, but that comes with time. I know. Ooh. Girl is right. I know.
I had to go through it.
Listen, I want to bring Evan into our conversation because, first of all, he's adorable.
So cute, right?
Oh my God! And Evan, I cannot thank you enough. You were going to come over for dinner anyway.
I was going to come over for dinner no matter what.
I wanted you to, and Walker was so nice and was like, "Is it okay if I bring?" I'm like, "Sure."
We sleep together.
What? Don't tell! Oh my God!
Sorry,
Joe.
Turn
it. Look away.
It's no longer a family show.
Look away, Joe. Joe's in the shower. We've lost him. Caitlin Rose Cantrell has joined us. John Bray has joined us. John Bray is a military guy. John Bray, we salute you.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Margaret Curry. She is in the cabaret world. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
So, Evan, this is perfect time to bring you in.
Great.
So, Evan, you tell us about what you do.
So I've been a hairdresser for about 10 years.
10 years, and you specialize in?
Now I specialize in color.
Okay, I want you to give me we made little signs. Let me see your signs. Okay, so because I want to give this to you right away so you can look this up right away. This is our friend Evan Sollars, and he goes under evanthecolorist.com. Evan the Colorist is also on Instagram. So you want to write that down, evanthecolorist.com. You want to look that up. I find that people that are in this business, because, we've talked about this many times on the show. My dad is a hairdresser, my sister, 8 of my cousins, Joyce and Gina, and my cousin Angela was in town this week. I had dinner with her, and I want to shout out her shop. She's at Studio 786 in Melrose, Massachusetts. My sister's at European Flair in West Concord. My cousin Nicole is at Nicole's Day Spa and Salon. Joyce and Gina are at Joyce's Unisex Salon in Everett. And where do you work, sir?
And I work in Soho at Ion Studio.
Ion is I-O-N?
He's so modest. I-O-N. Yeah.
I-O-N.
He's very modest. He's like one of the top colorists in New York City. He does all the models and the beautiful women.
Oh my God! So he's a chick magnet.
To him.
He's a chick magnet like Joe Rocks.
In the only way I can be a chick magnet.
Well, listen. Not everybody needs to be a chick magnet in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still are surrounded by beautiful women.
Yeah.
You provide them with different services, right? So you work in Soho at Ion. It's called
Ion Studio.
Ion Studio.
Yes.
And where is that if we want to find you?
It's on Wooster and Broome in Soho.
That's a beautiful area.
Yeah, That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful. So if you're walking down the street and you think, I want to go see, you want me to make an appointment for you though, right? You don't just have.
Yes, I would love for you to make an appointment with me.
But you don't, do you take walk-ins for colors?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, really?
If we're available, we'll take a walk-in.
You usually do a consultation first,
Definitely,
though, right?
Yes.
Joe goes to hairdressers. He says, yes, Joe, he Facebook Lives when he goes to the hairdresser, by the way. We should all do that. Facebook Live when you go see your hairdressers. Michael Sawyer has joined us. So now, a person doesn't just start off as a colorist, though, right?
No, actually, I was so adamant about doing cut and color.
Okay.
And I was working under people that said I would never become the top of my game if I did both.
A lot of people say that in a lot of businesses. They say you need to be specific, which you are now.
I am now.
And you had to choose one or the other?
For a long time, I said, no, I want to learn how to cut, and I want to learn how to color, and I want to do both. And then as time went by, I just kind of fell more into the color.
Did you fell into it because you prefer it?
I prefer it, and I wasn't all that great.
All right, well, listen, not everybody. My dad wanted me to go into his business. I didn't have a calling for it. Thank God I didn't go into it. I didn't have a call, but you have to go into what moves you and what you have to sometimes choose what you're better at.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's what you did, which was a smart decision, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the more you do it, the more, once you decide to specialize, and you're doing that over and over and over all day, you naturally become greater at it.
So let me ask you, how many would you say, at what point was it where you said, I got this?
Oh, recently, actually.
Okay.
I've been doing hair a little over 10 years, and I moved to New York about 3 years ago.
Okay, from where?
From South Florida.
From Miami Beach area?
Delray Beach.
Delray Beach is beautiful.
Beach.
My friend Catherine Salvio just moved there, as a matter of fact. She just moved to Delray Beach, and I was talking to her today. She bought some Rodanic peels from me. I sell skincare. She bought some of that. Danielle Maggio has joined us. Leo Rodriguez. Hi, Leo. You're late, but we love you. Leo is so great.
I can recommend some good hair colorists in Delray Beach.
Really?
I sure can.
Oh, my God. Okay, hold on up your side again, because I want to show Leo, my friend Leo Rodriguez, who's been on the show, but is also an amazing friend and great person. Leo, this is a website, if you get a chance. Can you post this on our feed right now? Leo does this for me. He's just my friend, but he does this. EvanTheColorist.com. For our radio listeners, can you spell that, Evan?
EVAN, THE, colorist, COLORIST.com.
Okay. So that's our radio listeners. And Leo will post it. He's amazing like that. We missed. Oh, look at he already posted it.
Aww.
Thank you, Leo Rodriguez. Leo Rodriguez. Love it. So you started off in Delray Beach, and you know some great colorists down there.
Yeah.
So Evan the colorist also knows people in other parts of the country. If you want to, if you're there, you can't get up, and that's how we always help each other in this wonderful world of being creative. Walker, you helped me quite a bit when you had your radio show. You always promoted my music, and I never forgot that.
Oh.
So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Always so sweet. We stayed in touch for many years.
Yeah, we did. It's easy to promote something that you're naturally, excited about.
That's what I always say.
Then it's natural. It's not something that you have to actually work at or think about. So I just wanted to share your album with my listeners, especially because I was, so that was another way that I sort of broke the rules, because I was on this, it wasn't a top 40 station, but it was adult contemporary music. So we were playing a lot of, Gaga and Katy Perry and Bruno Mars and Vance Joy and that kind of music. And I was talking to Betty Buckley and, gossiping with Joy Behar about why she had left The View. And I wanted to talk about, pop culture, but also like the theater world and the cabaret world. So, when I would play your song, I would tell my listeners who you were and where you could be found.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. I never forgot that. Thank you, Walker. So now let me ask you something. So you interviewed people like Joy Behar and Betty Buckley, and would you reach out to them, or would the radio station reach out to them?
So sometimes they were interviews that I pursued myself. Actually, it was really, because it was my show, it was my
What was the name of the show?
To book the guests. It was called Interview with the Artist. So
yes. Hold up. I'll hold that while you
want to do it?
Yes.
All right. So,
tell us what we're looking at.
This is the name of my play, but this is the name of my radio show, which is and podcast, which you can find as a podcast on iTunes. It hasn't been updated in a long time because I have left the business since, but maybe I'll start it up again.
Why not?
Why not?
You're so good at interview with the artist.
So I created the show Interview with the Artist, and it became something that I did on the air and something that I did as a podcast, and so I was able to invite guests that I was interested in, and usually it was when they were coming to town to perform.
I love that.
Sometimes they would get in touch with me if they were coming through, or but their publicist would get in touch and say, Sophie B. Hawkins is coming to town, and would you like to speak with her? Or what was the name of what's the one that you listened to? What's her name? Now I can't remember.
It'll
Roberta Flack.
Oh, I love Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack.
Did you
came on
got
the
to
show.
interview her?
I did. I got an interview. They're all on the website.
Oh, how cool! We'll have to
interview
go
the
and
artists.
listen to that. I listened to quite a few of your shows. I really enjoyed it. Wait, did you also win an award? You also won an award.
I won an award.
Walker?
Well, I won an award in the Hamptons for it was the best media personality.
Yeah, well, you act like that's not such a big deal. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
I remember that.
Thank
That
you.
was really a big deal.
Well, thank you. That's very sweet. It was nice to. I felt like I when I left, I felt like I could leave because I felt like I had accomplished everything that I set out to. Like there were very specific things that I wanted to accomplish while I was there.
Yeah.
And I did those things, and then I started after I reached those goals, and then I started to get restless, and then I started to feel like
that's
okay,
good though. See, a lot of people can get very set on their ways, and they can get very comfortable and rest on their laurels. And I have been guilty of that over the years.
No, but me too. And I probably should have left.
Me too. There's
like,
lots of places I should have left a long
3
time
years
ago.
or 4 years before I actually did.
Right.
And that's another story. I ended up, I was diagnosed with cancer in, you know this, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up. So
honey, it's
I didn't bring it up.
all on the table.
Oh, I
with
love
me. So in May 2016, it's just like a couple of years ago, really.
Yeah.
I got this cancer diagnosis, and I learned that I was going to have to get my my liver removed.
Oh my God.
3/4 of my liver taken out.
Did you?
I did.
Whoa.
So on August 1st, 2016, I had 3/4 of my. I mean, I literally had this huge scar on my abdomen, and you know that was I mean, there's no way you can go through something like that and have it not change your life forever. You forever change for it.
Yeah.
Because you know going in that not everybody survives that surgery. There's a chance that you're not going to survive it. And
Well, you look amazing.
thank you.
I mean,
the liver grows back. Can you believe
yes,
that? Isn't
it
that
does.
amazing? I mean, the body, the human
No,
body
it really
is
does.
unbelievable.
It's crazy. I've heard that.
Yeah.
It kind of like has a mind of its own and it regenerates.
Yeah.
I do know that. I know that very well because I have a lot of friends that over the years have decided to change their lifestyles. So, or some people, you know, like you, had cancer. It wasn't about a lifestyle. It was just about being dealt a certain hand.
Yep.
And I do know that it's one of those amazing phenomenons.
It can heal itself. So yeah. So I was very lucky. It was a very difficult, traumatic surgery. But I got through it, and what it made me do was, I think anytime you have a crisis, whether it's illness or loss or any kind of major life crisis, propels you forward. Don't you think? I mean, it just makes you get real with yourself.
Well, I will say this.
Get busy doing the stuff that you know that you need to be doing, because you realize life is.
Yes, I will say this. I want to take a second and just say this because I think it's important. First of all, Jessica Schaefer's joined us. She was supposed to be on our show tonight, and she had a little dental emergency. So, Jessica, would you mind calling in 5 minutes? So call in 5 minutes because I want Jessica to at least say hello to because I put it up on the promo, and we're gonna reschedule Jessica for another day. I'm gonna go back to Walker. So Walker, what you said. What Walker was saying was, don't you think that it does propel you to appreciate your life and all that? It can, if you choose to have it be that. And you made that choice. That is what you're dealt is what comes from another place. What you do with it comes from you.
How you choose to respond. Right.
Because, you know, my mom was sick for many years, and then she always was so amazing with it, and I didn't know where it came from. And you're the same type of person. I would be following your post, and I'd be like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. And like all of a sudden, you just started to like come out of this cocoon. Like it was just amazing. So I think that you deserve a big round of applause for that, and you deserve acknowledgement for taking the reins on that, because not everybody does. I'm not saying that people give up. But some people don't, they have a different head about it, you know, and not everybody, or some people, whatever it is in your life, whether it's addiction or whether it's, you fall on financial hardship, whatever. Sometimes people just throw in the towel.
Right.
or they get angry.
Right.
Do-
Well, I got angry. I mean, I went through all the stages that you go through.
yeah.
I mean, I was scared to death. I mean,
Of
I was
course.
scared to death, you know? But I also knew that if I got through it, which I did, thank God, that I would do what I had been postponing in my life and do what I had been putting off, which was I knew I needed to leave the radio for at least a short time, just step away from it. I knew I had to come back to New York City because my body just needed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so you just sometimes
I love
know
it.
where you are meant to be on the planet, and this
Yep.
is it. And around people like you and other creative people, I needed to be around my people. And then also I knew that
Well, we're so glad you're back. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy when you came back.
I'm so glad to be
and
back.
then you sang.
Yeah,
stood up
well,
and sang.
I knew that I wanted to come back because I wrote this play, which was one of the things that I did when I was out in the Hamptons in the cold.
Oh, you did?
There
Okay.
in cold.
And we are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little second because I
Okay.
want to really give that the attention that
Oh.
it deserves. So Julie Cesari has checked in. I'm here, but no sound or video. I hope that's not happening anywhere else. Anybody else having that? Everybody else seems to
I
be
need the
hearing.
ship and the shape. Oh, I haven't seen these comments. It's
Oh
hilarious.
my God! Yeah, I like to scroll
need the
down.
ship and
Susan
shape.
Perry has joined us. Peggy Eason, Joanna Abendanza, also a hairdresser. We have a colorist on tonight, Joanna. She's out
There's
in.
so many hairdressers.
I told
Wow.
you. I told you we do. Now, Jessica Schaefer, I want you to call in. She's going to call in a minute, and then we're going to talk to Jessica because we're going to have her on the show as well. And I'm going to switch over. So I want to talk about Evan for a second. A lot of hairdressers just popped on. She says hello, Joanna.
Hi, Joanne.
She's a hairdresser. She's great and feisty. Evan works in Soho. Tell us about your salon again that you work at.
It's called Ion Studio. I'm not that feisty. of a hairdresser.
Well, you're not as feisty as Joanna. Trust me, she's feisty. Evan is very sweet, and he's a colorist. That's what he does. He's a specialist. He's a colorist. It's down in Soho. And you work with models predominantly?
I do. Well, I'm trying to get more into that, but I do some models. We have relationships with agencies, and a lot of models come to our salon.
So do the agencies send them to you
Yes.
and say, do something with this?
No, they say do this specifically.
Oh, really?
And
For shoots and things of that nature?
Yeah, and I have to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you do like all the different, do you do all the different, like, do you do that color layering where it's like one color upon one color upon one? You'll see like all
Yes,
that cool.
so-
What's that called?
So what I specialize in,
Collage?
balayage.
Balayage.
So balayage is sort of what I do. I don't really call what I do
It's really
balayage.
difficult, I think.
It's it's freehand painting onto the hair.
That's what it is. Penny James knows about that. She's the one who introduced me to that concept, balayage.
I had never heard of it until I didn't know that there's this new thing in hair coloring, which is it's hair painting, right?
Yeah.
I never heard the term. I never heard you say balayage, but
Well, I don't really call what I do balayage because I'm not French for one thing. And
Right. Me neither.
So
Are you
I call
French?
what I do hair painting.
it's hair painting, right?
It's hair painting.
Yeah.
Hair painting.
Right.
But it's such a cool concept. And you have, so on Instagram, do you show what your work?
Yeah, actually I
Wow.
do. So
Evan the colorist at Instagram, right?
on Instagram, yeah.
On
so I don't
Instagram.
know if you know this, but I was in art school before I did hair.
I didn't know
So
that, and please tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm an art school dropout.
Fabulous.
But I did a little painting and drawing, and that didn't really work out. But I got a lot of good tools.
What did you like to paint? Was it abstracts,
No, I did like
portraits?
landscapes and still lifes.
Oh, okay.
um,
Well, beautiful.
Nothing too creative, but
Well-
I got a lot of good skills with the paintbrush.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And not really knowing that I was
And
gonna do
shading
hair.
and all that. I'm
Definitely.
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That the
Color
perspective,
Yeah.
Color theory.
Color
Wow.
theory.
color theory,
Yeah.
I want to know more about that.
right? I love that.
So, yeah. And
And then you
That
just
didn't
decided
work
to
out.
switch over, or
completely randomly.
that's what happens. I hear this
Yeah.
so often,
Yeah.
over and over and over. I had a guest on last week that was in dental school and decided he wanted to open a restaurant. Michael Bears. Wayne Bears and Michael Bobo were on. Michael Bobo is in the restaurant business and then decided to create colognes. And he has these beautiful colognes that he created. It's just, I guess, when you are a person that lives on a creative drive, you know, it's like water. It's always flowing. It's like it's always changing. You want more. And you said going back to what you said, you went as far as you could. You wanted to go in that.
Right.
And how do you know when something's done for you? I know when
I think you just know it. You just feel it, and you stop feeling inspired by it. It stops exciting you. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was time for me to move on when I started feeling a little bored and restless. And there's no reason to be bored or restless when you have that kind of opportunity.
Wow.
I mean, when you have the opportunity to have your own, radio show, and I on Long Island had such a huge audience, and I had so many people who listen to me every day, and I was so grateful for that. And yet, I felt like I was not. I felt like it would be wrong to stay if I felt bored. Let somebody else who is where the fire is really burning have that opportunity. Let me go do what I need to do right now. I need to explore something else. Right. So maybe I'll go back to the radio. I still am very passionate
but that's I think that's really great that you said, this is good. I've done this.
Right.
I need to do something else.
Yeah.
So now let me just take a minute here. Joe Savino, no, not bolognese, Boliage. You have to listen. Well, he's always talking about food.
Is that what you were laughing a few minutes ago?
Yes, and then it says, that's
I
great.
can't do that. Bolognese.
He doesn't. I do the bolognese. Wait till you see what we have for food, Joe. You're gonna love it. Jessica, are you calling in, honey? What? Maybe she fell asleep on her pain meds. I don't know.
No.
Oh my God. Okay,
it might be if she's had.
She might not be able to. Yeah. So she says, "I'm too embarrassed." Oh, okay. All right, Jessica. Listen, Jessica Schaefer, we love you. I'm not gonna make her call in. Poor baby had dental. She had an emergency dental situation today. And she had to go and get a root canal thing, and she was supposed to be on the show, so she's on, she's all, poor baby. Don't worry, Jessica, we're good, but I'm going to reschedule you for a few weeks from tonight. Now, let's segue into our food, shall we?
Yeah.
Since Joe was so rude and not appreciating our boliage, talking about bolognese. Okay, so, what did we make tonight? Jessica, honey, I made this partly because you had that dental issue. I'm serious, soft food. Right. I think I'm joking. I'm like a mother. I think of these things. One of my kids had dental work. All right, so this is gnocchi marinara. So what is gnocchi, you say? I don't understand what that means, a lot of people. It's an Italian word. It means potato pasta. And so gnocchi is very, very soft. It's made with potatoes. And when it comes in the package, you only boil it for 3 minutes. That's it. Do not boil gnocchi over because it'll just turn into like mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. So this is delicious, and I made a fresh marinara sauce. Look at all the hearts coming through. Isn't this delicious?
It's always for food.
Yeah.
And my plate, my mother bought me this set of plates. All Italian girls need their mothers to buy them beautiful sets of plates. She bought me this, I think, when I was 12.
And
gave it to me.
So nice that you still have that.
Of course. But I mean, I didn't get it when I was 12. Years later, she said, I've had this for you.
Yes.
So this is my gnocchi bolognese. I love gnocchi. We're going to have this after the show. Also, look at what else I made because I really went with the Italian theme.
Yes.
I made an arugula salad. Oh my God, it smells good. I love arugula. It's very peppery and bitter, but I like that. So to counteract the bitterness, I threw pears. I took Bosca pears and sliced them super, super thin, like paper thin. Put some cucumbers, a little bit of celery, and Asiago. I shaved some Asiago cheese in there. So this is going to be fabulous. I am going to put some either pear-infused vinegar or maybe some grapefruit vinegar. I also use these great vinegars that I get from New England Olive Oil Company. So that is what we're having tonight.
So good.
It smells very good. And then, wait a minute, we have 2 desserts.
We have 2.
We have chocolate, it's called olive oil cake. Chocolate olive oil cake, and then, of course, whipped cream because I love whipped cream. I never run out of whipped cream. Don't get dirty, Joe. It's not what you think.
I just know. I feel a comment is coming.
Oh my God, he's going to say something about the damn whipped cream. I just know it. Don't even think about it. Anyways, and then Walker was so sweet, and he brought my favorite cookies, Tate's.
Yeah, a little hat nod to the Hamptons, actually.
I was just going to say.
And, shout out to Kathleen King, who's
she created
it? Yes, it was her dad, or her grandfather, was it her dad or her grandfather is Tate.
Oh, really?
But Kathleen King now runs, she's responsible for
this is my favorite chocolate chip cookie in a bag.
Used to be called Kathleen's Cookies. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but they have a bake shop in Southampton.
Oh my God!
It's amazing. They have not just cookies, but brownies and bread. And,
I love the cookies because they're so crunchy and they're super thin, so you can eat like 40 and not feel guilty. Well, I don't feel guilty.
Oh, I don't either. With the baked goods,
you can't. Did you see Waitress, by the way?
No.
You must see Waitress.
Yeah, I know. I've heard great things.
On Broadway, it's about baking. There's a great song called "What Baking Can Do." That's my favorite song in the show. Now, I want to go back to Walker's show. Let's talk about that. So Charles Caselli has joined us. Paul Sedlick has joined us. Who else is? Louise Cormier. Hi, Louise. Where have you been? Louise comes in every week. Okay, let me check. Joanna's still there. Joe is talking about Hampton Beach now. Yes, it's beautiful out there. It's like the Cape, but super upscale. So, anyway, okay, let's go back and talk about, I want to talk about your show. Okay. Walker, and let's promote that, okay? So go ahead, sweetheart. Tell us what we need to know about your show.
Okay, so my show is called From Ship to Shape. It's a play. It's really a monologue. That's really what it is. It's an autobiographical monologue.
And how long is it?
It's about 75 minutes.
Okay.
Without an intermission.
So why would you, because I'm interested. Yeah. You said monologue, but when I think of monologue, I think of 1 minute. 5 minutes, right. 10 minutes. So it's a
monologue in the tradition of Spalding Gray. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Oh, yes, of course.
Gray, but I was a huge fan of his. I am still a huge fan of his work, and he was a big inspiration to me.
So it's like it appears to be stream of consciousness.
Yes, it is in some moments. It is some partly that, but it's also so it's a monologue about a breakdown that I had, a nervous breakdown that I had in my 20s.
Wow. I didn't know that either about you.
Yeah.
You see why I love doing this?
Yeah, and it was precipitated by a job that I took as a singer for a cruise ship.
Well,
when I was 25.
Let me tell you, we have people that come on the show that have done cruise ships, and they really, literally are sometimes...
They can push anody over there.
Yeah, they talk about it. They're like, I can only do it for 2 weeks, and then I'm done.
But the way that I say it is that I had no business. I mean, I was not mentally stable enough to be on any kind of a boat at the time. Like,
why, because you feel trapped?
Hmm?
Because of feeling trapped?
That certainly did not help. The fact that there's nowhere to run, I mean, if you have, I just sort of that's the advice I give. If you have any kind of underlying mental health issues, don't get on a ship where you can't leave.
Don't do it.
And it's just, you have a contract, you've signed a contract.
And how long was your contract?
I think it was a 6 to 8 month contract.
Oh my God, that's a long time.
I mean, there are longer ones. But anyway, with the show, what the monologue is about is, it's about mental illness. It's about dealing with mental illness in today's world.
Wow.
And this particular story of how I went, that's why it's called From Ship to Shape. It begins on a cruise ship and it ends in the mental hospital.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so it's this journey that the audience takes with me through, the highs and the lows and the chaos and the humor and the absurdity of the cruise ship experience. And I would eventually, when I was hospitalized, be diagnosed as bipolar. So it's about coming to terms with that. It's really about coming to terms with oneself and accepting oneself. I mean, truly, because I think what triggered this breakdown, it was a long time coming anyway. I had dealt with depression and anxiety all my life. But why this, I think, happened in my mid-20s when it did on this cruise ship was because it triggered my deepest fears about my own worth.
Well, you know what is interesting that you said you dealt with this from your 20s. Now, I think your generation is more open about talking about this kind of thing than my generation was.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents' generation, they didn't talk about it at all. Like, you know, I was just laughing, like, the universe is so funny. You started talking about mental illness, and my friend Unsteady Freddie literally joined us.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Freddie's a funny guy. He's a rock and roll guy, and he goes by the name Unsteady Freddie, and sometimes he goes, you know, that's unsteady. But, so we were just, he's such a funny guy. It was like perfect that you joined.
Yeah.
Hi, Freddie. But you younger kids, as I'm going to just say, hi, Joshua Lewis. He's a chef. He's going to come on the show. We didn't talk, I mean, our parents didn't talk about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't call it depression. We didn't call it, we just would say, oh man, he's crazy.
Right.
Or, you know, he hits the sauce a lot. Or, you know, that guy's like off his rock. We didn't, and it was only in the 90s, when I got here in the 90s, and I was in my late 20s, early 30s by that time. And it wasn't until I was probably in my 40s that people started really openly discussing this. And I know New York is very big about really being out there. Like, there are ads in the subway about where to seek help. We have even therapists you can text. You know, they have all
It's
these.
one of the greatest places you can be to be mentally ill or sober. Or I mean,
Yeah,
New York
there
has
are-
got so many resources,
If
so much
you-
support. is
Absolutely. If you are, like, I know in addiction, there, just AA alone in New York City, there are 1,800 meetings.
It's amazing.
Right. So
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that.
Sure.
When you know, so that's why I think it's so brave. What your generation has done is really brought it out. And now what this younger generation is doing, holy moly, this has been a week of, I mean, I can't believe how amazing these kids are.
I know.
And how they
Inspired.
are just like these warriors.
Yeah.
And their voices are being heard. But you know, it's always been the youth that really changed things in big numbers. Vietnam, civil rights, and now this. I think this is a big thing. So, Walker, where can we see your show?
So it debuted in New York in this past fall off Broadway, and now I'm sort of working the festival circuit.
Oh, wonderful!
Taking it on tour when I can. You know, specifically the Northeast. I'm bringing it to. It's coming to New Haven in May. Hopefully going to Center Stage in Baltimore in the fall of 2018.
Wow. Okay.
But that'll be.
Will you keep us? Will you keep us posted?
Of course, I will.
So
it'll be a trip to go to Baltimore because that's where I went. I was hospitalized at Johns Hopkins.
Oh my God!
So
oh my
I'm
God!
hoping
Just
to
got
actually
chills.
do it for the hospital, like do it for the staff and the patients.
Well,
because
let me tell you something. That's very powerful. And if you were to do that, I mean, you got to let me know. Also, there's a What's the Story with Maria has a page. And I like to update people when, like, some of my guests, whatever, they'll send pictures or something is happening. I will post that. I'll also post it on this and keep people just, you know, like just post it on what's happening with people that have been on the show. So please, Walker, let us know. Now, let's say you're in the Northeast, because you're gonna start with the Northeast, and you're somewhere, because a lot of our friends are in the theater business.
Sure.
Please, if you want to book Walker's show, you can get in touch with Walker. Let's hold up that piece of paper again. What is the website for your show, Walker? You tell it. I'll hold this up.
From shiptoshape.com. And yeah, you know, I've been really surprised that a lot of mental health facilities have actually gotten in touch with me because they've read about it. I read about the show and have booked the show for me to come as, you know, because it does have that component. It has that, you know, that educational outreach component to it. So it's not just entertainment for theater goers who love solo work, but it's also for, I think it can really help heal.
I don't want to block your face.
And it can really help save lives, I think.
I know it can. Trust me. That's very powerful stuff. So please, if you want to get in touch with Walker, I know we have a lot of people out there that listen to the show that would probably, not probably, they will love it and they'll be in touch with you. So you know who you are. I don't want to call you out because if it doesn't, whatever. I don't like to embarrass people.
Sure.
But and then people that are in this business, that a lot of producers out there that people don't know who you are. So I don't want to call you out either. Otherwise, everyone will be showing up at your house, won't they?
Oh, I'll
knocking
have them
on
all.
your door.
They can all stay. I have a huge pullout.
That's it. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually very moved by what you just said.
Oh.
You know, a couple of years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was in this children's theater company. We would take the show to different places. We even went to Florida. We went to Jacksonville and a bunch of places down there. But we would do it mostly in the tri-state area. And at one point, we went into a mental health facility that was like a huge place. It used to be it was like a famous building, and we actually did our show, even though it was a children's show, but we did it for the patients there.
Yeah.
And it was really like amazing in so many levels. You know, I didn't know what to expect because I'm thinking this is a children's show. How are they going to react to it? But they actually loved it.
It's so humbling to speak to that audience because they know. And I had I did this mental health. I did a benefit for this mental health organization in the Hamptons. I did the show for it, and I would say that 75% of the audience was made up of people struggling with mental illness.
Unbelievable.
And one by one, they came up afterwards and they said, "Hi, I'm Jenny. I suffer from schizophrenia. Hi, I'm Bob. I suffer from bipolar." It was one of the most beautiful, moving.
Well, to open yourself up like that, Walker, and be so vulnerable, to talk about something that happened to you, but to use it in a powerful way like that, it's not easy to do, but that is your purpose.
I was just going to say that. I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah, because I just felt it.
I didn't know that until I started working on this. That this is now, it's become a vocation. It's not just a job or a career. It's a vocation. It's a calling that I had no idea I had. That part of my purpose is to tell this particular story and talk about this issue and lessen the stigma. And I gotta say, like, part of what was so healing, because I talk about, kind of in a way that Spalding Gray did, every show is an examination of, what did happen to me and how did I survive it? It's like how do we survive these crises in our lives and these descents into hell? How do we get through them, whether it's a loss or a mental illness or addiction or whatever it is? And I think that by writing it, first of all, I wrote it as a means of survival.
Right.
They were journal entries at the time.
How wonderful.
And then crafting it into a piece of theater, I mean, there was nothing more healing.
But you could have held on to those journals and just kept them for yourself.
True.
But to put yourself out there and not know what the response would be, that's where the healing comes in for other people. I just want to acknowledge this. Already, while you were talking, Joanna Avendanza said, very interesting, especially today to understand. Thank you for sharing your story with us, for us to learn. Thank you, Joanna, for saying that. And also, Joshua Lewis said, I suffer from depression and anxiety as well. Love the inspirational people. Openness is healing. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you so much.
And I have to say, from seeing the show, it makes it relatable, especially to people who are in the mindset of just seeing this as they're crazy.
Right. It's not that simple.
Who can't relate to it. You really do this in a way that can relate to many people. Yeah.
Well, I know that there are so many theaters between here and Maine. I mean, just alone going that way, there are so many theaters. Please, folks, get in touch with Walker. Let's hold that up one more time, Walker. And spell it out for the radio. Walker.
Yeah, so I keep hitting the mic. I'm sorry. The website is fromshiptoshape.com. And you can find me, all my info is on the website. You can contact me through the website from shiptoshape.com. Or you can find me on Twitter, Walker on Radio, or on Instagram, Walker Vreeland.
Okay. This is such great stuff. Also, please feel free to share this this Facebook Live on your pages or friends' pages, or send us a message. I send a lot of times I'll send this as a Facebook message to people to say, hey, you should watch this. Or if you want to focus on that element, or hairdressers, you want to share about EvanTheColorist.com, and you want to tell your friends he's at Ion
Studio. Who was the trichologist? I really want to get in touch.
You have to get in touch with her. First of all, she's amazing. Second of all, she's one of my great friends. Her name is Penny James, and her salon is PennyJamesSalon.com, I believe. She's on Madison and 60th, I believe.
Oh, she's in New York.
Oh, yeah. She's British, too. She's amazing, and I cannot tell you, she's going to be coming back on the show. She was on the show, but she's helped me a lot with that particular issue, because it's not just men that start to lose their hair either. It's women too, and that it's just, it's just one of these things that you don't feel like you have any options, and that she specializes in that. So please, you want to go see Penny James, trichologist, and I know Penny's watching the show. Oh, here it is. Leo, you're the greatest.
PennyJamesSalon.com.
PennyJamesSalon.com. So if what you want to look into is the trichology, which is the working with hair loss and how to overcome that, Penny is your girl. You want to get your hair beautifully colored. What did he write?
Evan owes me a song at the duplex.
Who said that?
Leo.
Leo's so funny. You would love Leo.
I don't know about that.
Come on, Evan. Oh my God. Leo, what's the name of the restaurant you manage? Put it up there right now. Leo always brings me these unbelievable empanadas. He brought them last night and always feeds me. And I went for lunch. It's the best lunch place and brunch place. At night, it's super, super, super busy. But if you want to get a table there at brunch or during the day, it's down in by Church Street around there. Mm-hmm. I think is it 61 Church? Leo, 81 Church, something like that. Anejo, it's called. A-N. Yeah, it's right by you. Jimmy, how much time we got?
20 seconds.
Oh my God, 20 seconds. Right. Okay, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, Evan Sollars. Thank you, Walker Vreeland.
Thank you.
And please come back every Tuesday for What's the Story with Maria on armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global. You can see this, you can hear this on podcast on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio. Thank you, Jimmy Bell. Thank you, everybody. We love you. Bye.